Hi, welcome back to Pixie's Projects, and welcome in if you're new. Today I'm just here to share some happy mail I received and to show you a review of the Primrosia 30 acrylic paint pens. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to do a review of the Primrosia pastel paint markers. And those were a gift along with Houses 2 by Gabby Wolf. They both came from Johanna from Jojosa Hana. So thank you again. This is like a really awesome gift. And I can't wait for our buddy color in this book. So to get to the paint pens. Johanna had asked if I would do a comparison on some of the qualities of my paint pens that I own. So I have a tablet with white paper, and I have a sheet of black cardstock I'm going to use. Let's just start with my swatches. These are my paint pen swatches of the sets that I had already had, except for my Archer and Olive acrylographs, because those are in my journal. And then these are the Primrosia swatches. And as you can see, they did not too bad of a job coming up with a pastel set. There's quite a few darker ones, but I've never gotten a pastel set of anything that doesn't come with dark stuff. So to get started, I pulled one of each of my pens except for the Primrosia, just so we can get like an idea of what's going on here. These are from Peter Pauper Press. They're Studio Series acrylic paint markers. These are one of my favorite paint markers. They came in a set of 12 from Barnes & Noble. And I'm just going to go ahead and write with them so you can see. I've given everything a pre-shake, but I don't trust it. I still want to shake it more. This is just orange. These have no numbers, no names, nothing on them. But because they're a 12 set, I did not label these with numbers. I did label the Primrosia, and I'll show you when I get there. So these paint pens don't tell me what size they are, but I would say if I had to hazard a guess, they would be around a 0.7. And actually, let me pull out one of the Primrosia pens because they say they're a 0.7, so that's a good indicator. I'm hoping these are visible, and yes, I would say they were approximately the same size, and we'll be able to see a little bit more when we start drawing or writing or whatever. Then I have Jane Davenport paint over pens, and these, I don't know if they're acrylic paint like ink. Okay, so they're not acrylic. We're going to remove these, but these have very thick nibs on them, and they don't perform very well. I use them for dots sometimes because they do cover over other things. They're very opaque. This is an Archer and Olive acrylograph, and this is also a 0.7, and I'll show you the nib on that, which looks very similar to the other two. And then I have Fine Life acrylic paint markers. These are from, I think, Ollie's. I just picked them up because they had them. Also appear to be a 0.7. And the last ones I have are acrylic paint markers. No other information is given. These were from Five Below and have a very fat tip on them. So let's go ahead and get started. I do not claim to be a really good letterist, writer. I don't know. But we're going to write words. We'll write Johanna since she sent the markers. So these are the Chibi brand from Five Below. Sorry, I'm not writing my own name, so I had to stop and think. But that's what they look like. And they do tend to lay down a good deal of ink. They color in well and don't leave much of a line of any kind. except when I miss. So there we go. We're going to let those dry a little bit, and then I'll pull up so I can show you on the black. And this is how they come out on the black, which is kind of for coloring. I think we want them to be a little more opaque than this. And it'd be great if they were opaque in the first hit. It looks like if I continue to go over it, and again, we have to let it dry because we don't, we won't know till it's dry. But it does appear to do a little better with a second coat, which I don't know about you, but I don't think I really want to do that. Do extra coats of things. So then we're on, this is a little bit of a loud video because I do have to keep shaking these pens because I just don't want them to stop. These are the Fine Lifes. These are the ones from Ollie's. And how's that? This one's not going. I shook it, but I did not do the little tappies. So let's see if we got it now. And this is a lighter color. Just tapping out ink and giving it another shake. Honestly, I can't remember if I've ever had a problem with these or not. So I'm going to assume for now that it's because I didn't do any of the work. Or didn't do enough work to get it to go. And this one comes out very thin. And yeah, it is giving me a little bit of a problem coming out. So there's that. Okay. So then we have my Studio Series from Peter Pauper that I got at Barnes & Noble's. And again, I'm just giving it another shake and a tap to see if we got color. It's so weird. By the time I finish this, Johanna, I'll know your name by heart and I won't have to stop talking. So there's we have an orange there. And I did not try to pull matching colors because I don't really feel like it's too big of a deal. And this one is doing the same thing. If I go over it, let's just do one. There we go. And then we'll come back and go over it. And as you can see, the ones from Ollie's definitely brightened up with the second coat, as this will as well. But again, I don't know how much we want to be doing that. So every one of these has the same tip, except the paint over pens, which really aren't acrylic, and the ones from Five Below are also a bullet, like a larger bullet tip. Everything else we're working on is a 0.7. So these are the Archer and Olives. And this color might be a little dark for the black paper. Based on the lid, I should have figured that out. But we're going to try anyway. Yeah, look, that immediately comes out as one color that we want to see, and I don't have to do another layer over the top. I also have, I have to say here in this video that I don't think I have any more, as I shake up and down here, I don't think I have any more, what are they called? Just like that, gone. Oh, Poscas, because the Poscas never, I could shake them for 10 minutes straight and they don't come out for me. So this is this one is a Molotov, and this is a 1mm nib, and this is all I have left. And yeah, this one's really wet. This is all I have left as far as like just white gel pens lying around. And I'm not going to try it on the white paper because that would be silly. So let's just try it here. And again, you can see this is where I need to have like at least 2 coats of that. Now, if anybody has any tips on the Poscas, let me know, because for me, they don't work. So now we're going to go ahead into the Primrosias, are the ones we're here to see. I just took a Sharpie and labeled each of them with numbers, and then when I swatch them, I just put the numbers with the corresponding marker, and just to make it easier on me to find stuff, because it's like most markers and things, the tips don't really match the ink as well as you'd want them to. But here's where it's writing out on the white paper. And again, this is like up there with the Olive and Archer as far as not having any trouble with flow. The orange one is the Peter Pauper, and that was the same thing. There's just not a lot of problems with the flow. So I'm going to go down here and we're going to test it on the white, or on the black. And on the black paper, it also just shows up. Let it dry a little bit so we can see. Because this one we had to go over twice. We had to go over with this twice. This we could do another run on. And that one is just one layer. And it's really pretty. And it just comes straight out. Like I said, it's a little dark, but it still shows up on the black paper. So while that's drying, we'll just try. I'm going to close up the white because I think we're working better on the black. So we'll just write like my name, and we'll do like faux calligraphy with it so that we can see how it takes extra work done. Because sometimes with the Posca, when I go over it again, it'll take some of the ink right off of it, and I don't want to deal with that. So yeah, I have not played with these a lot yet, but for me it's important that they're opaque and I can get a good layer of color down. And as I can see, there's still like a little bit of, just go back and fix it up a little bit. But definitely, these are definitely above the Peter Paupers, which, a minute ago, I'm making sure I'm in the frame here. A minute ago were one of my favorites. But since I've been playing with these Primrosia ones, I'm seeing a massive difference in how much pigment shows up on black, which as a colorist is important because I'm using it over pencils. That's another thing I want to do, because a lot of stuff won't go over my Prismas. So I'm just going to grab, I have a couple Prismas I was using on the last page I was doing. So I'm going to grab one of them with all their wax in them. Let's see. And do a rather heavy-handed approach here. So we get and if I'm shaking the table, I'm so sorry. But I'm going to try and get like a good amount of wax build up on the paper, because I do burnish fairly well. And I know Johanna doesn't burnish well. So let's do a person in the middle there. So there. If you're light-handed with your pencils, we'll find out if it works for you. And if you're very heavy-handed like I am, we'll find out if it can work for you. So we have the Molotow, which is the white one again. There we go. And I'm just going to make a line through this. And it does show up on both of them wet. So now we wait to see what happens when they're dry. The Jane Davenport paint pens, which again are not really acrylic. They do tend to pick up some of the blue behind them, so they're not as opaque. Then we have Peter Pauper. And that's that. The Fine Life, which is the ones from Ollie's, which is having a massive amount of trouble even coming out, which is why we're doing this video, so you can see the difference. Yeah, I'm not getting much out of this at all. So there's an attempt at that. These are the acrylic paint markers from Five Below. Again, this is the only one that has that giant tip except for the Jane Davenports. And they are not opaque in any way with one line. Then the acrylic graphs from Archer and Olive. And I'm putting the new Primrosias next to that because by far that is, the acryligraphs are my favorites. And then with the stuff I have in my coloring, it was the Peter Paupers for a while. So there's what we have. I'm just going to pull it up and see if it's... Sorry, the glare is killing me. I know you guys aren't seeing it as much. But that's what we have. So, I mean, I feel like you can still see some of the blue through the Primrosia, but not near as much as, like, any of the other lines I've made. The Molotow worked really good this time, so I don't know if it's because I've given it extra shakes or, you know, what. I'm just going to go over these Primrosias again to see if we get a more opaque finish to them. And that's drying now. But yeah, I just want to again say thank you to Johanna for sending these. I think they're a go, definitely. So here I've got some dryness now. And that's what the Primrosia looks like on the heavy-handed Prismacolors and the lighter-handed Prismacolors. And here are all the pens again. And here they are in the white. And it's definitely working well. And, you know, again, the Archer and Olives. The rest are a little bit iffy. So yeah, that's all I have to do with this. And if anybody needs a flip of the Houses 2 coloring book, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I hope you all find this helpful. And until next time, happy coloring. Bye.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Yay! Now make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and hit that little bell down there so you get notifications for when the next video comes up.